Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the screen and also open up and disassemble the inside components of this HP Pavilion laptop, model 15. It's hard to read, EG0073CL. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove all the screws from the bottom. I believe there are hidden screws under here, so let's go ahead and remove this rubber piece. I'm going to use my thumbnail to do this. Alright, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Let's see if there's anything under this one. Probably not. Oh, actually there are. Okay, so we have to remove both rubber feet here. Okay, so go ahead and remove those. Okay, just like this, and we'll set those aside. The one where the laptop opens is a little bit thinner, so you don't want to mix those two rubber pieces up. Alright, anyways, we're going to use a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver, and we're going to remove the screws from the bottom. So we got 2 screws on each corner here. Again, I didn't mention it yet, but you want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. I put them flat side down like that. In the pattern I remove them, so we got the 2 back here. Okay. And to make things a little bit easier, I'll just put these 4 all in a row as well. Okay, so basically only 2 rows. It looks like we will need a PH0 or JS0 to remove the other screws. So keep that in mind. You are going to need both types of screwdrivers. You might possibly be able to get away with using only the PH0 or JS0, but I don't recommend it because you can strip out the screws and that's not going to be good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this screw out. So right now the screen, it shows up like all greenish colored. So we're gonna be replacing that and hopefully that will solve the issue. Alright, so now that we've gotten those screws out, let's see. So the seam here is like slightly at the bottom, so it's not on the inside. So we're gonna open this a little bit and let's see if we can pop this out. I'm gonna get my fingernails in there and I'm gonna use my thumb on the palm rest area and push on it and see if we can pop that out. Let's see, is it gonna come out? Wow, okay, no, it's holding strong. So these clips here are pretty strong. So it looks like it's not going to come out easily. Let's try with a suction cup and see if we got any different luck. Okay, so I'm going to use the suction cup in the middle. I'm going to hold the edge of the part down and see if we can pull it up. And wow, that really doesn't want to come out. Okay, so, how are we going to pop this up? Can we pull from here? No. Okay, there's like a slight dent here, but I don't know. That's going to be cheating if I open it from there because not everyone's going to have a dent in their computer. So I'm going to try from this edge a bit more. So we're going to get in there and we're going to push a bit harder on the palm rest. Okay, I feel like it's coming out or something. Something's coming loose. Alright. So it's forming a gap here, as you can see, but it doesn't pop out. So that's very interesting. Oh, this middle part is kind of unclicking a little bit. So let's see, can we somehow pull this? No? Let's try pulling with the suction cup in the center. Okay, so the center, when you pull it, it kind of causes the case to flex in, and it looks like that helps release some clips back here. Okay, as you can see, this middle part is now kind of loose. Okay, but it's having an issue popping up the rest. So what I'm doing is I'm helping like flex the case, like pulling it this way. So I'm pulling up with my fingers and then pushing down with my thumb to kind of cause the case to flex. And you can see it's actually releasing the clips. Okay, so here you go. So I'm gonna keep like kind of flexing it. You can also use your pinky and kind of flex it like that. Okay, and as you can see, as you kind of flex it and move it around, the clips are coming up. Okay, it looks like the clips on the front are much more stubborn. So, how are we going to get those out? We got all of that out. Let's go ahead and now see if we can grab from here. I'm going to hold with my other hand inside and see if I can kind of help move this around or anything. Okay, wow, why is it stuck so tough here? There we go. Okay, so I kind of pulled it away that way and helped pull the other side the other way, but it's still really tough. But it did release some clips, so let's go ahead and go to the other side and see if we can do the same. We're going to pull the case that way and then pull the other half the other way. Okay, and wow, these clips are really tough. What in the world? I don't know if I should just yank them out or what. There we go. Okay, it kind of, I guess it helped to kind of push it that way actually, which is interesting. And there we go. So the cover came off. Let's see if I can show the clip mechanism in here. Okay, so this just requires quite a bit of fidgeting with it and moving it around. You can see all the clips are intact, everything's good. We are going to clean it out because it is a little dusty. This design only has one fan, though some designs I guess will have a GPU here. You can see the GPU mount points, and then there's a second fan for certain models. Okay, we're going to be disconnecting the battery because we are going to be working on the screen, so it's very important. Okay, there's 4 screws running along the top and 2 screws at the bottom here. Let me actually zoom in for you guys. Excuse me. All right, again, keep all these screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. I am going to have to take this back outside and clean it up because it is pretty dusty. I think there's cat hairs in it and everything. So, yeah. All right. Could be dog hairs too, I don't know. All right, and we'll get these 2 out down here. All right, once you got all those screws out, we should be able to lift the battery out. The battery is at model number HW03XL. If you need that, there's also a HP spare part number, L97300-005. All right, anyways, once we get all the screws out, we're gonna go under here and pull this straight up. There you go, it swings up and we can lift the battery out. Just in case you need a close-up of that because it's so small. There it is. All right. Okay, once you do that, if you're gonna open it, you wanna be careful because 2 of the screws are no longer helping hold the hinges. Let me zoom out. So this, yeah, the screw here and here. All right, so we're gonna slowly, carefully open it up. And we're gonna go ahead and press the power button. The power button's in the middle here, it's kind of weird. But we'll hold that for about 15 seconds. This is very important. It makes working on this a lot safer, especially if you're removing the screen cable, all right? Very important. All right, if you don't do that, there's a very good chance you can fry the motherboard circuit, backlight circuit, or the screen or the cable itself, or a combination of all the parts. So there we go, we're gonna close that. If you wanna see, there is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here. These come out just like every other one. 1 screw, it pops up slightly at an angle and you can pull it out. Then you got the 2 sticks of RAM here. I'm gonna pull this out just because it's a little bit safer. I don't know what this sticker is holding on to, but here you can see. This is PC4 3200AA, so you should be able to use any PC4 3200AA RAM. And this is an 8 gig stick, so you can get 2 16 gig sticks if you want. It's best to have 2 matching sticks than to go like mismatch. All right, there's the LCD LVDS connector up here. We're just going to quickly go over what's inside. Speaker connector here. This cable runs along to the other speaker here, so both speakers connect there. Wireless card here. All right, again, if you want to see how to remove any of these types of connectors, all my videos show that kind of stuff. Well, not all of them, a lot of them. So yeah, and then you got this connector here for this USB board. Then you got the charge port connector that runs along here and goes right there. You do have to take out the hinge to replace the charge port. And then you got the fan connector here. Looks like the fan's easy to remove. There's 3 screws holding that. And the heatsink, there's 3 screws holding that. But yeah, keyboard connector, keyboard backlight connector, and trackpad connector right there. And that's pretty much all there is inside here. So let me clean this up and I'll be back. We'll continue with removing the screen. All right, I'm back. So got the battery a little bit dusted off. Got this dusted off. All right, anyways, we don't need to work on the bottom inside anymore. We're gonna be opening this up. All right, so the main thing was just to do the battery reset there, or battery drain. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is pull the screen out. The screen does have an adhesive all around it, so you wanna keep that in mind. I actually worked on this a little bit earlier just to pull the frame out and check the screen model number. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this back out again and double check. The adhesive isn't quite necessary, so if you want, you don't have to put that back when you get the new screen. We're just gonna pop this out. Okay, so the way I'm popping this out is I'm pulling up on the center part and pushing inwards with my thumb, all right, or downwards and inwards, all right, and that's how you kind of release those clips. All right, so we're gonna continue working our way down, same thing. All right, again, I released the adhesive that was in there, so if you're wondering why it's coming out so easily for me, that's why. Okay, so keep in mind it might not come out so easily when you do this. All right, so now that we got that, let's go ahead and see about getting the front down here out. Okay, so I'm just pulling it towards myself. Okay. All right, so we unclip that. If I remember correctly, did I unclip this? So, okay, yeah. So close that a bit. Once you close the screen a bit, you can actually see there's a gap here between this part of the frame and the other. So I just slide my fingernail in there to pop all those clips out. Again, you can use plastic tools. You don't have to use fingernails. I know people sometimes will complain about me using fingernails because they want me to use plastic tools. Just consider these as plastic tools. But yeah, I use them because that's what I have on hand. See, on my hand. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and pull up all this adhesive. The bottom adhesive is usually very annoying, and what I end up having to do is use the tool like this to help push it down while I'm pulling this frame forward. Okay, because it sticks to the plastic piece, but it's supposed to actually stick to the screen. So we're gonna go over there and push that back in. Of course, since we're replacing the screen, it's not really that big of a deal if you tear that stuff off, but I like to try and not do that. Okay, so there we go. Now we got that out. You can see if you want, you can kind of remove all this adhesive. If you don't remove it, just try and keep it to where it's all flat in one layer so it's not too lumpy, because if it's too lumpy, it can put pressure on the screen and you don't want to do that. All right, so all this extra adhesive here, you want to check for that. All right, just like this. All right, double check and make sure lumpiness. All right, and we'll pull that off. Okay, and there we go. So we got the frame off. There's another part that we already removed. There's adhesive strips. I believe, if I remember correctly, they were at the bottom here. If you've seen some of my other videos, there's adhesive where you pull it out slightly and then you have to kind of keep it flat, so you pull it down while you're stretching it and you keep pulling it down, because basically the adhesive needs to stretch, like it has to go straight along it. If you try and pull it forward, like pulling it away like this, it won't work because it'll just pull, like put stress, it'll be sandwiched like between the screen like that. So what you want to do is you want to pull it straight like this. The adhesive will stretch and it will slowly release. Okay, anyways, we're gonna pull the screen down because we already removed that adhesive. If you want to see, I recently did a video where I removed the screen adhesive like that, and you can watch that video on how I did it. But anyways, I'll be putting the other adhesive back afterwards so you can kind of see how it was sitting in the computer. For now, we are going to remove the LCD panel here. Okay, so we got this. We're going to peel this up. All right, so we'll peel this adhesive up here. Guess I'll show you this little sticker later because I think that's the LCD LVDS cable model number. Anyways, we'll peel that up. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else holding it. So now I'm going to use my fingernails to help pull this at the edges or the corners of the connector and slide it out just like that. All right, this screen looks like it might be a little bit difficult to remove. Anyways, here you can see the LCD or screen model number. Let's see here, B156, here you go, B156HAK02.1. All right, so that's the screen model number. We're gonna go ahead and get the replacement screen. Hopefully they got the same replacement, because sometimes the sellers like to do some like replacement parts where it's kind of a compatible model and not the same exact one. So let me go ahead and open this and make sure. I probably should have done that beforehand. But yeah. Also, this is a touchscreen, so you can't replace it with a non-touchscreen. I've had some people say, oh, like, can I just get a non-touchscreen to save some money? You actually can't do that because the design of the cable is designed for that specific model screen. Okay, interesting. So in this box, they put another box with bubble wrap all over it. So it's a good packing job. Make sure that it won't break. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut this open as well because they put tape all over this thing. Okay, so we're gonna cut these sides of the tape. Okay, and we're gonna cut this tape. Wow, that's a lot of tape they used to secure this thing. the bubble wrap would have actually been enough alone just to secure this thing from opening. All right, so let's go ahead and, wow. And then in here they put more. That's a very good packing job to prevent the screen from breaking. They put more tape and more bubble wrap. This layer you want to be careful when opening it because you don't want to accidentally hit the screen, of course. All right, so we're gonna go over here and cut this tape. All right, and we're gonna cut this tape. I'm only gonna cut two sides because then we can just open it up. All right, I know this has nothing to do with the repair because your screen's probably not gonna come packed like this, but all right, so peeling that back, the tape is actually stuck to the bubble wrap, so this is gonna be somewhat of a difficult to remove. Make sure you're pulling more on the tape and the bubble wrap. Don't flex the screen trying to remove this stuff. Okay. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and, yes, there's too much tape over here. It's all stuck to the thing. Okay, there we go. And we got more bubble wrap over here, so we're just gonna unwrap this. Okay, good. They didn't tape this bubble wrap together. That would have been annoying. There's too much tape here, man. All right. Okay, even around this, we'll put more bubble wrap here. Okay, we got some more bubble wrap. That's a lot of tape. All right, so we got the screen here. Okay, as you can see, they did send a different but compatible model. So here it's this NV156 FHM-T01V08. Let me double check. What was this one? I hope it's matching. Okay. Yeah, this is B156. And the old screen was glossy. So let's see. The new one should be the same. If we peel this, and it is glossy. Okay. So we should be okay. The screen double check for fitment. Okay. And what is this? Receipt. B156HAK02. Yeah, so it's kind of funny because when they sell it, they give you this model number, but it's not the same one. It's just a compatible one. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this connected, and then we're going to test it out, make sure everything's working. All right. So this cable, because it's kind of like not much slack, what you can do, you can kind of pull this out of the way and unloop this stuff. Or you should be able to. Come on. I'm going to use the plastic tool to help it. All right, so we'll lift this up a little and pull this out. Okay, that way we have a little more slack to work with. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to grab the connector, line it up. Right, make sure both corners line up right. This can be a little tricky. You might have to maneuver the screen around a little bit to get it right. Okay, come on. Get lined up. Okay, once you get everything lined up, I'm going to use the corner edges with my fingernails to kind of pull the connector in, and I actually feel it click into place. That's how I know it's in right. Then we're going to go ahead and get this adhesive, pull it somewhat tight, not really hard, but just enough to make sure it's pulling itself up into place, and then stick that in. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to lift the screen up, okay, into place, and then we got to get this cable back in because I did pull it out. All right, I'm going to flip it back over this way, and what we're going to do, we're going to put the battery back in so we can test it. Once we confirm it's working well, then we can go ahead and put the rest back together. All right, so let's go ahead and grab the battery here. Okay, we're going to line this back up. All right, so just like this, you can line it up with this little raised plastic mount. Slowly lower it, make sure the battery connector lines up properly. All right, and then you can push that in. You might have to kind of slide it up a little bit just to make sure everything is firm in place. And then we can go ahead and put the battery screws back. Again, there's 4 up here, and then there's 2 on the lower left side. All right, so let's go ahead and get these screws back in. And I'm pretty sure this battery also acts as the BIOS or CMOS real-time clock RTC battery, whatever you want to call it. So once you put it back together and turn it on, there's a good chance it's going to take a while to start up because the BIOS is resetting itself. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, got the 2 screws down here. Get those in as well. So we got that one and this one. All right, there we go. Once we've got that, let's go ahead and open up the computer and power it up and see what we got. All right, we'll push the power button. I see the power button light is actually lighting up. Okay, again, it's probably going to take a while to boot up, so don't worry about that. That should be normal because the BIOS or CMOS battery was reset from removing the battery. So as you can see, it's taking a while. I actually feel the fan blowing air. All right, so hopefully nothing weird is happening. Okay, I see the screen lighting up somewhat purple. So we'll see. Hopefully this is right. Sometimes with the new screen, you might have to plug in an external and then restart the computer to get it to work, but here you go. You can see it says the CMOS or BIOS was reset, and it looks normal color, so we're probably good to go. We'll press enter. Okay, we'll let this boot up, and you can see HP is coming on. And let me move that out of the way because it might show their account information. And the color looks normal. And then you want to, of course, test the touchscreen. Oh, maybe they disabled it. We're going to restart the computer one time. So I'm going to go to the restart, the shutdown, and then restart. You don't want to do shutdown. You want to do the restart because shutdown doesn't actually do a complete power cycle of all the system files and everything. So we're doing the restart, okay? So we'll wait for that to reboot, and then we'll see. I don't know if they disabled the touchscreen. They might have, assuming, I think this was touchscreen. Anyways, it's booting up again, so we'll see what happens. Okay, as you can see, when you start it up now, after restarting, it takes longer to start. And again, that's because the system files actually reset. Okay, so it's not being touchscreen. So I don't know if they disabled the touchscreen. We'll have to check later. They might have. But anyways, let's go ahead and shut this down and then finish putting this thing back together. So we'll shut it down. All right, I said shut down anyways. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to put the adhesive strips back. Again, I didn't show how to remove them in this video, but hopefully you can find my other video where I actually show that if you need it. All right, I'm going to slowly, carefully tip this screen forward, and you want to be careful that it's not yanking too hard on here. Okay, and the adhesive strips, let me see here, is this? So they have a little thing that goes in there, I think. And this one, okay. So the adhesive strips look kind of, they're like this, all right? And this one, it folded a little bit on itself. Let me see if I can separate it. Sometimes, a lot of times if this stuff folds onto itself, it's gonna end up, you have to snip that piece off because you can't unfold it, but it looks like that one came apart. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this, it tucks into, is there a gap there for this to go into? So if we look up here, I think there's actually a gap that goes up in there. Kind of, not really. Maybe not. It looks like it. Well, anyways, the adhesive, you want it in this little groove down here. So there's a little groove where the hinge is, and that is so that you have a way to kind of reach and grab that little bit of the adhesive that's sticking out there. Okay, and then we're just gonna kind of get the rest into there. So the adhesive now, I think because I stretched it and pulled it out one time, it's actually, it might be too long right now. So let's see here. Yeah, it might be too long. So I'm gonna pull it back slightly, and then we're gonna see if we can kind of push this lump to make it more flat, or we can kind of have it wiggling around like how it's doing right now. That's okay. All right, just make sure it's not too lumpy, because if there's a solid lump, then that can actually put pressure on the back of the screen and damage it. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. I don't remember if I mixed these around or not, but as long as you kind of have it lined up right to where you can access the pull tab from down here, you should be fine. This one doesn't have the, some of the models will have like a plastic wrap over the tip so that it doesn't move around, all right? Or so that you can easily release the adhesive, but this model doesn't have that, okay? So anyways, we're gonna pull that back, all right? This one, again, it sticks up slightly, so we're gonna make sure it goes down. All right, and kind of just push that all, make sure it's not lumpy. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna tip the screen forward, and you want to be very careful because you want to get this in right the first time. So I'm gonna flip this around so it's easier for me to see. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the screen to slowly, carefully fall down, and you want to try and get it into the corner edges first. Okay, so line up that corner edge, good, and then get the other corner edge, line that up, and there we go. All right, then you kind of work your way down the edge, make sure everything lines up and goes into place and pushes down. Good. All right, let's power it up one more time, make sure everything is working. It should be good. I'm gonna press, I think, is it escape key or enter key? Well, whatever, it's already booting. Oop. Okay, oh, it didn't actually show anything, so we're good. All right, I'm gonna shut it down again. Okay, this computer shuts down fast. All right, anyways, once you got that, we're gonna go ahead and peel this protective coating off. So you wanna actually roll this off. You don't wanna pull it straight up, because if you do, it puts stress on the layers of the screen. It kind of pulls it up. So that's the safest way, is to roll it off. Okay, now we're going to get this bezel. If there's stuff stuck to it, you wanna look around the frame, make sure nothing is sticking out. All right, looks good. So let's go ahead and get this back in. So slide that into place, and then we can go ahead and just work our way around the edges, pushing the clips back down into place. Okay, just like that. Working your way over, and working your way over the edges here, okay? And then we're gonna pinch both sides. So we're gonna pinch from here and here, all right? And just like that. All right, make sure everything clips in, and we're good to go. Let's go ahead and slowly, carefully close this up, and then we will get the bottom cover and put all the screws back in. And that's pretty much all there is to this model. All right, and then don't forget the rubber pieces, of course. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. All right, we're gonna start with the bottom clips here first. And I'm kind of pushing down and slightly at an angle. All right, so basically I'm pushing it inwards and down at the same time to get the clips to fall into place properly. If it doesn't go in, we might have to adjust some stuff, but yeah, it looks like it's working. But yeah, anyways, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, again, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws. But yeah, not much else. All right, let's go ahead and get that done. All right, last few screws. I think my customer is actually still waiting outside, so I told him it would take about half an hour. Including the pause, it took a bit more than half an hour, so hopefully, well, I told him half an hour to 45 minutes, so that was about exactly on time. All right, anyways, we'll get all of this back in. If my main goal was just quickly going straight to the screen, probably half an hour would have been good estimate. But yeah, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this spike. Oh, wait, just kidding. We forgot the rubber pieces. All right, so make sure you line up the little holes here. And I like to check here to see which one went the right way, because I like to make sure I put it back the same way I got it out. All right, and we're just gonna line these up. Go over to this side, line this up. I like to do the outsides first, because a lot of times if this rubber piece stretches, then it's not gonna fit on right. All right, and get the other one, same thing, make sure you have it facing the right direction. This one, usually if the adhesive is peeled up, sometimes over time this adhesive goes bad. So hopefully it's not gonna have any issues, but just get all of this back in. Okay, and stick that back together. All right, now we're done. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, let's drop this spike.